Hey Sensory Siblings, welcome to the channel. This video features some clips from an interview that I did back in 2020 with fellow YouTuber Katy Montgomerie. We were talking about insect facts in these clips, but there's some sensory related stuff that comes up, so I hope you enjoy.
I don't know how many things you want me to list off.
So let's see here. I guess admittedly, I'm very curious about the insect enthusiast because that was one of my dream topics. I wanted to speak to an entomologist on the show at some point.
Okay, well, you should definitely go on someone who's actually an expert, not just someone who just really loves insects. I don't know what it is. I like most animals. I really love cats. I have a cat, and possibly cats are my favorite animals. But there's just something really cool about it. And it's not just like insects are mechanically cool, and they have all their working limbs and all these different parts, and they're so small and simple that they often fit this niche, and they just own it because that's kind of all they do, and that's really interesting. And
what I have learned about how insects work, from ants to wasps, the whole thing about the wasps and their rainbow honeycombs that they build, and I looked that up. I was like, that is so cool. Yeah, if you go to Google Images and you search wasp rainbow nest or something like that, you'll see some. It looks like paper mache, made by a child. It's
because
so cool.
That is what kind of how wasps make things. This is very similar to paper mache, I guess. They just chew up paper and then sort of spit it out. But if they have access to multicolored paper, then you end up with multicolored wasp nests, which is just really fun. Yes. But I'm a pro wasp propagandist, because I think wasps, like you set me off now, wasps get a really bad reputation. When you say wasp, people think of the black and yellow stripy stingy thing, and when you're trying to have a picnic, it just comes up and stings you on the arm for no reason. And wasps are heads sometimes, but there are so many different types of wasp, and some of them are so beautiful, and some of them play absolutely key roles in the ecosystem, and they've been around longer than flowers. A recent cool fact that I found out is that wasps evolved millions of years before the planet Saturn even had rings. So when wasps were first around, Saturn didn't have rings, which is it kind of melts my brain, the numbers involved in that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, wasps just have so much going on, and they don't actually attack you for no reason. They always have a reason. I mean, sometimes the reason is you accidentally hit them, but that's your fault. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I've got quite a big platform just from doing that. I have no idea why.
Being outspoken does tend to bring. It's you attract more flies with honey, they say.
Interesting fruit fly fact.
It's I shouldn't have brought up insects again.
So I heard someone saying that the other day, and someone was like, but that's not true. The way to attract them was with vinegar. And I was like, okay. And I had an outbreak of fruit flies from leaving some potato peel out or something. And I put down just a plate of vinegar and went to work. And when I came back, it was just full of flies, all dead flies. And really, just try some vinegar, because it's how you get rid of fruit flies. Well, I can tell you a recent crustacean fact, which is so wood lice, which you might not call wood lice. They seem to have a different name everywhere in the world. Sometimes they're called pill bugs, or they're the little grey sort of silver things that curl up into a ball, and they're the size of a pea. And you find them in wood and rotten things and underneath leaves and stuff. So they're actually crustaceans. And when they're born, they have 12 legs. And when they reach adulthood, they grow 2 more and have 14, which is I just think it's brilliant. It's instead of talking to a kid and oh, have your adult teeth come through? It's you're talking to someone oh, have you grown your adult legs yet? They'll come through soon. So,
okay.
Yeah.
You just reminded me, I have a spider fact that I learned recently, and I'm curious if you'll already know this. So
Smash it out.
So, do you know why spiders curl up into a ball when they die?
No.
So I watched a YouTube video like maybe a few weeks ago, and it was explaining that the way that spiders actually move their legs is by regulating their blood pressure. So I guess a higher blood pressure makes their legs extend, and lower blood pressure makes them retract. So when they die, their blood pressure obviously goes down, so their legs just
That's
go.
interesting.
And that's why they crumple into a ball, as opposed to just kind of going, just kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got so many spider facts that I want to say now. So I mentioned in passing leafhoppers, which are these tiny little bugs. I mean, I guess they're like about the size of a ladybird or a ladybug or whatever you call them there. Maybe a little bit smaller, and they're kind of like diamond shaped, I guess. And they have this thing, basically their mechanism to escape from prey and to move around is that they jump. And they jump really, they're really like fleas where they just suddenly spring off, and you see them sitting somewhere, and if you poke them on the back, they're like ping, and they just disappear, which is really cool. But in their lifetime, well, actually, so the mechanism that they use in order to jump, if they just engage both their legs, because they're so small, if it wasn't like perfectly in step, they might just fire off sideways, or they wouldn't have control over it. So they actually have physically in between their two legs, they have this cog system. So when one leg engages, it forces the other leg to engage. So they always jump in a straight line, which is cool enough on its own, but only the juveniles have the cogs. And the final stage after so they molt in their life. And on the final one, they lose it and they just have rough pads, which do still do it, but they're not as efficient. So they're less likely to jump in a straight line. They're less likely to go as far because it's harder to coordinate and they might slip. And they weren't sure why. And they think that the reason is from like an evolutionary thing. When you're a juvenile, if you jump wrong and some of the teeth on your like cogs break, then suddenly you can't jump at all and your mechanism to survive is ruined. But because you're going to shed your exoskeleton, you can grow them back, and that's fine. So every single stage has these teeth, and they just grow them back when they shed. Apart from the final stage, isn't ever going to shed again, so they don't have a chance to repair it. So they then go for a less functional but safer mechanism for the final stage in their life, which is just really, so cool. I don't know why that's so cool to me, but it's so cool.
No, that like, okay, I know I said it before and it might have sounded like I was joking, but like honestly, I think it'd be really fun to just do like a bug facts show with you or something. Just like I don't know, like I don't know how often it would be, but like, you know, maybe just short little videos here and there of like, what's the coolest thing you've learned about bugs this week?
Yeah, insect fact of the week.